you've taken exception with my characterisation of the decision-making in Cork as moving people around like they're chess pieces on a chessboard. So I'd like to move to Garnish House. The HSE rental agreement with Garnish House started in April 2020 during the COVID emergency. A family member of a resident told the Irish Examiner earlier this year that the relative was moved with a few hours' notice. As of April this year, according to the Irish Examiner, the HSE has failed to communicate with the families of residents in County Cork mental health facilities in the last 2 years since their relatives were suddenly moved to this new accommodation. Obviously, we've covered today the impact of prolonged uncertainty for people in mental health services around where they're going to be living. So my questions, and the impact that has, and the fact that it seems that there is no clinical oversight to those decisions making, or they're not recorded in any way, and the HSE is absolutely fine with that, and the Department of Health is also fine with that. So my 3 questions are this. The Irish Examiner article in April this year said there had been consultation with those Garnish House residents and families about their ultimate placements. Could you outline what that consultation was? You've informed me through a PQ that you will not be renting Garnish House again beyond Q1 2023. Have you informed the residents, or did they find out through that PQ? When did they first hear about it? And then thirdly, you have been telling people from Onacur that they're going to be moving to Garnish House, and you have been doing that until very recently. Are you informing those residents and their families that if they move to Garnish House, they'll have to move again in early 2023?
But I might take that, Deputy. And just to say, at all times it was understood that Garnish House was not a long-term place where people would be residential for a long-term position, because it was always a lease building. And again, just to say, it was done at the time with very short notice, because we were preparing very fast for what we didn't know with regards to COVID. And I think that's a hugely important issue with regards to the decision to move from Millfield to Garnish House, which is which is at issue. And importantly, with Garnish House, though it's not an ideal location from a residential perspective in terms of the consequences around the building itself, as I outlined a little bit earlier, but it certainly did afford more space and more single spaces to people, especially at that very first stage and the early stages of COVID, when we didn't actually really fully understand what the implications might be for residential settings in mental health, such as it was.
Sorry, I asked 3 very specific questions, and I'm wondering, could I get an answer on them?
You also asked with regards to the consultation around it.
Just to give you an overview, I asked, what consultation have you had with Garnish House residents about their ultimate placements? 2, have you informed residents of these plans before it was released in a PQ to myself? And 3, how have you been dealing with Onacur residents who you've been telling for the last year and a half they're going to go to a Garnish House? Have you informed them that that's not going to be long term, it'll be a matter of months before they're moved on yet again?
Absolutely. Anybody who would be moving into Garnish House would have an understanding that that was for a period of time. It might have been a defined period of time at the time, because we wanted to make sure that we'd keep our options open with regards to it. So everybody that was in there understood that it was not a centre that we were going to be staying with over long periods of time, and that's the understanding.
Sorry, Mr. Fitzgerald, these are very vulnerable people. Can you define what you mean by they understood? What was the consultation?
Well, there was a discussion, because all of these residents of Garnish House have a clinical team who provide support to them, and they are under the care of a consultant psychiatrist. So there is oversight on an ongoing basis to all of the residents of Garnish House, and there is constant communication between that clinical team and the residents.